Okay. Hi, my name is Liliana Miniet, and today I'm going to be giving my persuasive speech. And this is my audience.
Hi, I'm Richard.
Hi, I'm Carol.
Hi, I'm Carly.
Hi, I'm Marta.
Hi, I'm Mila.
Hi, I'm Sophia.
Imagine going on your phone to post something publicly online of a picture of what you did with your friends. Then you leave your phone for a couple hours and you come back to check the comments. And some of the comments say, "You're so stupid," or "You're so ugly." Then you spend the next couple hours analyzing these comments and wondering, am I really stupid or am I really ugly? This is what social media is allowing to happen on a daily basis. And this is also the side of social media that needs to be handled because of how it affects people negatively. And not enough actions are being put in place. In today's speech, I'm going to present to you the different harmful effects of social media through cyberbullying, addiction, and misinformation to persuade you as to why it should be regulated. Now let's take a deeper look into one of the different reasons as to why social media should be regulated. Let's start with cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is a term that is used in today's day and age a lot. According to UNICEF.org, it can be defined as bullying with the use of technologies. It is repeated behavior aimed at scaring, angering, or shaming those who are targeted. To put it into perspective, cyberbullying happens all the time because of how easy it is to use digital technology in this day and age. Therefore, it's freely used. And we need to change with this. UNICEF also states some examples of cyberbullying, which are spreading lies, posting embarrassing photos, hurtful messages, and sexual harassment. These examples violate basic human rights. One act of cyberbullying can make someone feel unworthy, and they can start to lose themselves as they start to become isolated in their own emotions of loneliness and sadness. But this is only the mental aspect. There's also a physical aspect to this. Cyberbullying comments can sometimes say, "You're so fat, lose some weight," or "You're so skinny, gain some weight." These comments can be taken into extreme by users as they can start to gain eating disorders and start comparing themselves to others just because of what one comment says. And it gets to the point where someone can feel so uncomfortable in their own skin. And this is why we need to change. We need to think of how we want to be treated and apply that to others. Now, let's get into another reason as to why social media should be regulated, which is addiction. Have you ever found yourself scrolling through social media for just 5 minutes, and then that 5 minutes turns into 10, and then half an hour, and then 1 hour, and then now you've been scrolling on social media for several hours? And it happens the next day, but you didn't want it to. And then now you realize you're wasting your productivity to social media. We as humans should be outside. We should be interacting with each other and not wasting our boredom on social media. According to Social Media Law Center, some of the effects of addiction to social media are neglect to realize obligations, inability to stop using social media, disruptions in sleep, eating, and exercise patterns. When people use social media constantly, they can start to have withdrawals from it when they're not using it. And it can be the only thing on their mind, and it can be the biggest distraction. People can start losing motivation for basic habits like chores, for example. If you have to do laundry but you want to go scroll on social media for 2 minutes because it's on your mind, and then you've been scrolling on social media for an hour and you lose an hour of laundry. Or social media addiction can mess up people's routines because you can be in bed by 10 every night, but then once you become addicted to social media, you can be up until midnight. Or let's say the next morning you have an early morning, you have to wake up. When you decide to wake up, you go immediately to social media and scroll for 30 minutes, wasting your time. We as humans should not revolve our lives around social media, and therefore it should be regulated. Now let's get into one final reason as to why it should be regulated, which is misinformation. Social media is an open book for people to post almost anything and everything. With this being said, people post misinformation all the time. It could just be to gain attention, to confuse people, or it could just be people are uneducated and don't know their own information. And this is unfortunate since millions of users use social media constantly. According to the National Library of Medicine, more than 2/3 of Americans receive their news from at least one social media outlet, most of which do not undergo the same review process as academic journals and some professional news organizations. Unfortunately, this can lead to inaccurate health information being conveyed as true. Now, this resource shows that there is a lack of security in in social media, especially when it comes to health. Someone can easily go online to find a medication that could seem to take away all their problems, but in reality, that medication could be a death wish. But there's also a mental health aspect to this as well. According to Lebanon College Valley, the spread of misinformation can have severe consequences, including misdiagnosis, inappropriate treatment, erosion of distrust in mental health providers, and difficulties in relationships. If people go online for mental health, they can fall into a spiral of misinformation. They can start self-diagnosing themselves with depression, but in reality, they might not even have depression, and then they can start taking medicine for antidepressants when they don't actually need that. So many things can go wrong, and therefore it needs to be regulated. Now I'm going to show you a video that shows the true reality of the negative aspects of social media.
CJ Dolly grew up with 4 siblings in the rolling hills of the South. Friends and family say he was active, happy, and the comedian of the group. But unbeknownst to many, CJ was suffering. On January 4th, 2015, he retreated to his bedroom and died by suicide. His departing note written on the envelope of his college acceptance letter. Did you know any of the struggles that he had with his mental health, whether related to social media or just in general?
No, he had nobody had a clue that he was even sick at all.
Since his passing, CJ's family says a closer look at his social media posts and online conversations show that his social media addiction led to body image issues, sleep deprivation, and depression.
He was so addictive that he wasn't sleeping at night. He was on his phone all the time.
His parents
This video shows that social media is literally costing people their lives, which is why it needs to be regulated and why a plan and solution needs to be put in place. This solution starts with something that you all know. According to UNICEF, cyberbullying leaves a digital footprint, a record that can prove useful and provide evidence to help stop abuse. Now, we live in a world where we can use AI, also known as artificial intelligence, for almost anything and everything. You ask artificial intelligence a question and it'll give you back a response within seconds or minutes. So why don't we as humans bring the use of AI to social media platforms to install regulations? AI can analyze comments, pictures to see if they're being rude or targeting someone, or it can put a screen time on our use of social media to make us get off of our phones. And this is practical because an AI Act, an Artificial Intelligence Act, was put into place into Europe for social media. According to Medium, in particular, AI systems that involve providing or personalized advertising will be closely monitored to ensure that they do not exploit personal data in harmful ways. And this shows that social media platforms could start paying attention to AI if it was put into place in order to regulate it. Now, we could start spreading this awareness about this solution online, and we can spread it to others and bring it to the attention of these social media platforms, which I encourage you all to do. We can put an end and find a solution. In conclusion, social media has proven itself to need regulations due to its addiction that it causes, the cyberbullying, and the misinformation that it spreads. No one deserves hate. No one deserves to go online to find misinformation, and no one deserves to waste their time and their life on social media. And this is where the use of AI comes in to detect this misinformation, to detect these hateful things, and to make sure that we get off our phones. But it's up to us humans to take a stand and bring the solution to others. We started social media, we caused social media negative effects, and we can regulate it. Thank you.